So, what I wanted us to take a look at today is the original Red Dead Redemption and see how well it holds up in 2025 and beyond. This is run on Xbox Series X through backwards compatibility, and you get a native 4K resolution running at pretty much a locked 30 FPS, and as you can see, it still holds up today. I was absolutely blown away by how good this still looks after releasing almost 15 years ago for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. All the small details that Rockstar managed to pack into this game makes it feel like a real lived-in world. From the way the dust clouds form to the wind blowing through the grass and the trees. The shadows, the lighting, they all work really well as a complete package, and it's a testament to how much they pushed these older consoles back in the day. The music and the sounds that play in the background as you're roaming around, just doing your thing, really add to the environments and really helps bring this world alive. It still competes with most games that have been released recently on these modern consoles. Another thing that Rockstar does really well with this game is the writing and the voice acting. All the cutscenes really add to the world that they are trying to create and making you feel that you're part of this Wild West story. I would say that it's up there with some of the best Western films from the 80s and the mid-90s. All of the voice actors that worked on this game sound like they really give it their all, bringing their characters to life.
St. Peter, open up them pearly gates. I'm coming home. Come on, mister. Come on.
Although saying that, some of the character development was a little bit lacking compared to some of Rockstar's recent work, with some of the quest givers just feeling like they were there just to move the story along. But for the most part, this is some of the best work in the last 15 years in video gaming. Just take a look at this scene as it plays out and really sets a tone as you're heading out on one of the missions.
Since you're here, you want to make yourself useful?
Not particularly.
Listen, son, I know you got a mission, but right now I need another gun.
Why? What's happening?
We've had this problem for months with this group of bandits who are getting drunk and murdering settlers. Last night they went to a big place up near Ridgewood.
They burnt the place down, killed the men, burning most of them alive, and raped the women. Women folk then got their throats slit. One of them survived and walked in here this morning.
Anyway, we got a posse gathering up near Ridgewood. Will you ride with us?
All right.
Thank you, John Marston. It's gonna be a bloody job.
I don't think I know any other kind, sir.
And when the action starts, the music, voice acting, the sounds, they really come together, ramping up the intensity of the scene. For the most part, the gameplay becomes a cover-based shooter. You can clearly see how Rockstar improved on their previous mechanics from the likes of Grand Theft Auto 4. For the most part, it works really well, but there are some minor janky issues, especially when inside buildings that we'll see later on in the video. The snap-on aim and gunplay work really well, but there is very little in the way of enemy variety. I found myself using only a handful of the weapons that are available in the game. As you can see though, the weapons feel like they hit with real power. The way the enemies react to where they're being hit makes the gunplay very satisfying. For those that have played Red Dead Redemption 2 recently, you'll appreciate how well the story continues. Having played the sequel almost 6 years ago, I was still surprised how much I remembered from this game, and even more surprised how much this game's story is still included from the sequel. How well it follows on, even with it being written 10 years before. For those that have played it even more recently, I'll remember some of the locations and some of the characters from the sequel. Rockstar has done a fantastic job in Red Dead Redemption 2, building on what was created here and making this story just as important as the sequel. This game gives you a satisfying conclusion to both of the stories. Even with the majority of the gameplay boiling down to typical cover-based shootouts, there's a sheer variety of different types of mission that are available. You'll be herding cattle on a ranch, escorting trains through bandit country, going on rescue missions deep in the Mexican canyons, and even leading a revolution. There's such a variety of activities that can be done that there's almost too much. I focus mainly on the story missions, completing the game in about 15 hours. There's plenty of side quests, but with the lack of character development in these, I only did a couple. Some of the other activities, such as playing poker, arm wrestling, and breaking in horses on the ranches, I skipped completely.
Much appreciated.
Just take a look at this scene here. Riding down the road into Armadillo, one of the many towns that you'll come across in the game. The way the sun shines and bounces through the clouds, the draw distance, the world creation. It all just looks fantastic. Passing people that are just going about their daily business, making it feel like a living world. Even the wildlife realistically moving through the world. It all adds to the effect. This is a game that should be really played slowly, taking in all the minor details, being immersed in the world. There is some minor popping, trees and bushes in the distance, but none of this breaks from the immersion. As you can see here as we pull up into town, all the minor details have been packed into this one scene. People going about their business, the sounds and the reactions as the character passes by. It really just adds up. There's a full day and night cycle and realistic weather effects in this game. As the town turns to night, we can see how the mood changes and the quiet the night sets in. The lighting here works really well, showing off the limited electricity that these towns would have had back in the day. The street clears, shops close down, drunks stumble out of bars. Almost all of the windows can be seen through, giving you a glimpse inside what is going on. Something even modern games don't get right today.
Good to see you.
As we approach the bar, we can hear the piano playing out. Strangers peering out the window, eyeing you up as you make your way through the door. And then the bar comes alive, transporting you back to this bygone era of America. Here's another look at one of the many action scenes in the game. You'll see how well the gunplay works. Windows breaking in the background of stray shots, and how they impact each character when you hit them. The music and the shouts of the other characters just adding to the tension. Bloodstains splattering onto walls and windows as you make your shots. There's hundreds of these fine details. Outside of buildings is where this gunplay really shines, but as we make our way inside the building, this is where some of that jam kicks in, the camera struggling to keep up with the action. Luckily, these are few and far between, so you won't be having that many issues as you play through the game.
I doubt you'll be needing this.
I've played a lot of games recently with different quality settings, and I find that the 30 FPS modes just don't work. I've had to settle with the 60 FPS modes. This on the other hand ticks on perfectly. Everything is smooth and there's little to no motion blur, showing just how the PS3 and the Xbox 360 were the masters of 30 FPS gaming. This game can be picked up for as little as £5 here in the UK, and is on all modern consoles and now on PC. Switch is locked at 30 FPS, the PS5 hitting 60 FPS, and PC all the way up to 144. Whichever hardware you play this on, I'm sure you will have a fantastic time. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like if you did, leave a thumbs down if you didn't, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the section below. I really think that if you're burnt out with modern day gaming, or if you're waiting for that next big release, maybe give this old classic a go.